There's something to be said for plugging away. You know, it's probably not the way you drew it up, but when you hear the music playing in there after a game, it's good.
That's the goal, going up to the plate, get a run. You know, that's not how I want to do it, but at the end of the day, it helped our team win the game, so, you know, I'll take it.
You're trying to go out there and act, you know, check on him, but you're so happy the run scored. Kind of, I think that's why you start laughing.
At the corner of 35th and Shields, you will find the home of the Chicago White Sox. And despite a season that has gone south, they have the fewest wins in the American League, fewest home wins in all of baseball. Their loyal fans still out here partying, getting ready for the series finale. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Tribe going for their 10th straight win, trying to sweep the Chicago White Sox here today. And last night, it didn't look good. They scored the first 4. White Sox scored the next 4. It had all the makings of letting one slip away, and somehow they found a way to win it.
When you're going good things happen. Last night, they got the first 2 outs, and all of a sudden, a 2-out walk. It'll get you every time. And then the only hit in the inning will go the other way, Austin Jackson. And then all of a sudden, the wheels came off. They go to the bullpen. They hit Yan Gomes. They hit Brandon Guyer that drives in the go-ahead run. And can you believe that? With 2 outs, the Indians go ahead. They come on to save the ball game. But in that streak, they've been averaging over 7 runs per ball game. The key I like, they scored first in each of the last 8 games in that 9-game winning streak. And we talk about how important it is for the Indians to score first. Their pitching's been solid. Everything's falling in place. And they're at 9 games right now.
Yeah, and they're 41-15 on the year when they score first. Carlos Rodon will get the start today for Chicago. We've seen the left-hander at his very best, but right now he's scuffling.
Well, he's been on the disabled list most of the year, and we got to go back to his last start against the Indians. It was their last home game. They ended up clinching after that, and he was brilliant. Might have been one of the best games he pitched. 8 innings, 2 hits, 11 strikeouts. He's had left bicep bursitis. He's been on the disabled list, only making 5 starts this year. So he's been struggling as his year's gone on. So he's going to try and finish it out and stay healthy.
Josh Tomlin's on the hill for the Tribe. Indians have their right-handed hitting lineup in there today. Michael Brantley gets the day off. We'll be back with the play-by-play coming up in just a bit. Alan Jensen will take it away from the studio when we come back. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Nature Stone, the only concrete solution. White Sox are right back in it. Oh, an unbelievable play. An unbelievable play again. Andrew Miller gets out of it. And he hit him. Oh, my goodness. And the Indians have the lead. And the Indians win again. They run their win streak to 9 in a row. And that makes the Indians the hottest team in baseball with that 9-game win streak. They've opened up a 3-game lead over the Royals in the AL Central. 12 games now over 500 as they head into the series finale here today against left-hander Carlos Rodon of Chicago. On the road this year, incredibly, the Indians are 14-8 against left-handed starters. With more on Rodon, let's go downstairs to Andre Knox.
Well, Carlos Rodon is looked at as one of the better top prospects from the left-handed side in baseball. And when you're Brandon Guyer, your job's a little bit more difficult than others. You get to go against the great lefties from time to time. Last night he came up with the game-winning RBI on a hit-by pitch. You should see the bruise on the inside of his elbow. Today, though, he knows he's got a tough assignment against Rodon. But Guyer is coming around. In this series, he's reached base 5 of his 6 plate appearances, and he knows today will be tough in today's Hear Right sounds of the game.
He's just got really good stuff. I think 95, 98 fastball, mixes it up good, and just a good pitcher, man. I know he's had some injury this year, but when he's on, he's one of the best lefties in the game. So I know when I got traded over here last year, I think 1 game at home late in the year, he pitched really good, and we didn't do too much against him. So the potential's there.
Different story for Rodon so far this year. He has lost each of his last 3 starts. Really scuffling at the moment, but obviously has the talent to dial one up here today. Let's take a look at the Indians starting lineup for Terry Francona, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Francisco Lindor, he's riding a 9-game hitting streak during this 9-game win streak. Austin Jackson moves into the 2-hole with Michael Brantley getting the day off. Jose Ramirez will bat third. Then it's Edwin, Carlos, and Brandon in the middle. Gio Urshela, Roberto Perez, Bradley Zimmer, the only left-handed bat in the lineup, bats ninth.
And Carlos Rodon is our Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher this afternoon. 1-4 and a 6.29, but don't let that fool you. Highly touted guy, first-round pick, 3rd overall in the 14 draft. Very talented, but spent most of the year on the DL with left bicep bursitis. So just coming back, trying to get into the fold.
Ready to go, and we're underway as Rodon delivers the first pitch, fastball for strike 1. Two quick ones. He's ahead of Lindor.
Pitches from the third base side of the rubber, not afraid to go inside.
Struck him out on 3 pitches.
Let's check out that White Sox defense, brought to you by WB Mason. It looks like this. It'll be Lurie Garcia in left field. Engel is in center. And Willie Garcia over in right. Saladino gets the start at third. Anderson is at short. Moncada at second. Davidson at first, with Smith doing the catching.
Lance Barrett has the plate. Clint Fagan at first. Crew chief Bill Welke at second. Jim Reynolds at third. Here's Austin Jackson. And a fastball is high. 79 degrees at game time. The 1-0. Jackson fouls it out of play. 3 absolutely ideal days to play baseball here in Chicago. Austin Jackson has picked up a hit in 6 straight games. Going 11 for 22.
Well, this is a very heavy right-handed hitting lineup for Tito today. Zimmer hitting in at 9th spot. He's about the only left-hander. And Rodon has that back foot slider. He can throw that changeup away, and he pitches inside. Like I said, from the third base side of that rubber, he gets the right-handers looking in.
Close. And it's a full count. Fouls the payoff pitch back.
That's the Sox team that normally left-handed dominant at pitching when they had Sale, Quintana, and if this guy's healthy, boy, they come at you and they can throw a steady diet of left-handers. Now with Sale, Quintana gone, this is one of the guys that's going to be #1 for him once he gets healthy. No question about it.
3-2. Jackson slugs it in the alley in left center. Angle over, he will cut it off. Jackson has to hold with a long single.
I tell you, he did a nice job to cut that off. I thought it was going to be a double when it left the bat because I was looking in the gap of left center field. But Angle got to it quickly.
He's got good speed. We've seen that already in the series. Nice job of hitting by Austin Jackson. He's now 4 for 9 in the series. And this is a Chicago club that is looking for some help where pitching is concerned. Now Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez has gone from one end of the spectrum to the other in a very short span. In the series opener on Friday, he was 4 for 4. Since then, 0 for his last 6. High pop-up left field near the line. In the foul ground, the shortstop Anderson takes care of that. 2 down. Our storylines today are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. For Carlos Rodon, command and pitch count. Keep an eye on that. And Jose Abreu with the trade now of Melky Cabrera. There aren't many left in his White Sox lineup that you have to really be concerned about. He is the man. Runner goes. Jackson took off. Throw from his knees, not even close. Jackson can get up, and he thought about it a couple of times, but decides to hold. He's already in scoring position with 2 down. Has his first steal.
And I like that, but didn't waste time. Left on that first pitch and had a very nice jump going on first movement. Smith behind the plate didn't even get up. That ball pretty catchable. But he did not hold on to it. No harm, just a stolen base.
So Moncada couldn't hold on to it, but Jackson holding there at second. 1 ball, 1 strike to count on Edwin. Edwin looks at a pitch that's inside. 2 balls and a strike. Encarnacion 1 for 8 in this series. He's walked a couple of times, scored 2 runs. Since May 24th, he has been on a pretty good roll against left-handed pitching, batting .324.
Well, and that's what you're going to see. Either perfect pitches, I would think, or in off the plate trying to get him to chase with first base open here.
Last night he had an at bat later in the game. I don't recall which inning it was, but it was one of the first times really in a long time where I saw a frustrated Encarnacion because he's been pitched around, pitched very carefully too. He swung at some bad balls, which he hasn't done a lot of lately because he's been taking his walks, but it looked finally like it got to him and said, doggone it, I want to hit.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. It might have been in the 6th inning. Well, and that's what you do. You test your patience with some hitters. You know, they're getting paid to hit homers. They're getting paid to drive in runs. Now all of a sudden, a point in time comes in that ball game and they're not pitching to you. You get a little frustrated.
Carlos Santana with 2 on and 2 out. Up high, ball 1, and out goes Kevin Smith. Santana 3 for 5 in the series with a homer and has scored 4 runs. White Sox, I was mentioning it a moment ago, looking for some help to steady their pitching staff. Overall, Chicago ranks 12th in the American League with a .465 earned run average. But that walk to Edwin Encarnacion was their 391st as a pitching staff. That's the most in the American League.
There's the changeup away. Which is good. You pound them in, you pound them in. That's what opens up the other side of the plate, is that changeup.
Santana had one to swat at, fouled it back.
Came right back at him as hard as it went behind him.
This was another changeup, maybe.
It was something off speed, but he left it upstairs.
High pop up. Moncada, the second baseman, will make the catch. Track strands a pair. The White Sox coming to bat. Renteria brought to you by Hankook Tires. Leury Garcia moves into the leadoff spot, just activated from the disabled list before today's game. Tyler Saladino gets his first start of the series, batting second. Jose Abreu will bat third. Then it's Matt Davidson, Yohan Moncada, Kevin Smith catching today. He'll bat sixth. Then it's Tim Anderson, Willie Garcia in right, and Adam Engel, the center fielder, bats ninth.
Josh Tomlin is our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. Josh has won his last 3 starts, all against National League teams. He's had a nice month of July, 3-0 with a 396. Coming on and trying to continue. He's been beaten twice by the White Sox this year. In his career, he's 4-5 against them.
Pitch is outside, ball 1. Leury Garcia, a switch hitter, was on the DL with a sprained finger in his left hand. But with the trade right before the ball game of Melky Cabrera to Kansas City, Garcia activated and immediately inserted into the lineup in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, not many veterans left on this ball club here in Chicago.
I think we all understand it is part of the business of ball. You know that these things could happen. But Rick, with the White Sox, I think that's now 5 trades in the month of July. They've got to be a little bit shell-shocked in that clubhouse.
Well, you would think so. I mean, because they did a lot of their moving in the offseason as well. Good pitch. But you know, trading deadline, you're getting unloading. They're rebuilding, man. they're starting all over. They're blowing it up. They're gonna, they're gonna need some pitching. They're keeping Abreu. Rodon, who's on the mound.
Lurie Garcia is out swinging. Josh Tomlin strikes out the leadoff man, 1 away. Well, if you missed it, this is what took place, and literally this was right before we went on the air today. Melky Cabrera sent to Kansas City for a couple of minor league pitchers. He's played in Kansas City before, so we're going to see a whole lot more of him the rest of the way.
Yeah.
White Sox, look at that. 7 players have been traded away in the last 17 days.
Yeah, I think these guys bring their suitcases to the ballpark.
I mean, but to put that in perspective, that's almost a third of their 25-man roster that they traded in the last couple of weeks. You show up to work and you look in your locker and you look, who's the guy next to me now?
Yeah.
He wasn't here yesterday.
That's true. Well, if they're bringing up some of these kids from the minor leagues, they have an idea. They're trying to get a lot of young players, and they've really done a nice job building up their farm system throughout the course of this year.
Now the 0-2. I don't want to get too far off the track here, but I've already read this morning in Kansas City, a lot of people are scratching their head. How does Melky fit? How are they going to make this work? Because now they have essentially too many outfielders with the current mix.
Yeah, no, you find a way.
Tomlin strikes out Saladino, and he's coming out firing here today, back-to-back Ks.
Let's check that Indians defense, brought to you by Ram. Behind Tomlin today is Jackson in left, Zimmer back in center, Geyer in right, Urshela and Lindor on the left side, Ramirez and Santana on the right, with Perez doing the catching.
You and I had this conversation before we came on the air. You hear a lot of times people will say, hey, a team that's in contention needs to make a move for the guys in the clubhouse. Well, I get that. I understand that. But here's the thing. When you make a move, somebody in that clubhouse is going to lose either a job or some playing time. And that's what Ned Yost has to figure out there in Kansas City. Whether it's Alex Gordon who loses at bats or maybe Brandon Moss loses some DH at bats.
Right.
They're going to have to figure it out.
And the thing of it is, though, I'm sure they meet and they know exactly their target, what they want to go after, what they want to get, and what they're shooting for. So they know coming in. They're just a matter of having to make them fit in. And it's not that easy. People think, okay, this guy's going to Kansas City, good, he's got a chance to win. It's not that easy to play and go in there when you're a hired gun and fit right in seamlessly.
Tomlin appears to be working very carefully to Jose Abreu.
This is the guy.
Strike 3 and 1.
You don't want him to beat you. This is the best hitter. One swing of his bat brought him right back into the game last night with a 3-run home run.
So he's only hit in the series, so they pitched him tough.
Nice.
Oh, really pulled the string.
Yep, slow it down. It's a big curveball at 74 miles per hour. You can see how far out in front he was. So everything has been away. Pounding it down and away.
Payoff pitch. Struck him out. How about Josh Tomlin strikes out the side here in the first? And we are scoreless after 1 in Chicago. Brandon Guyer to lead off for Cleveland. Carlos Rodon missing inside for ball 1. Guyer's picked up a hit in 3 straight games.
And he's been hit in 2 straight.
That's and last night's, you know, he's told us before, a lot of times when he's hit by pitches, they hit him in the lower half. You know, you might feel it, you might get a little nicked up, but it's not a big deal. Last night, that ball caught him flush on the elbow, and that hurt.
Yes, it did. It was a painful ribby, but it was the winning RBI. I think that took a little of the pain out of it. Still hurts. Weird game, weird inning last night. The bottom half of their 8th and the top half of our 9th.
Rodon falls behind Guyer 3-1. Ball 4. Second walk issued by Rodon. Leadoff man aboard. This is what happened in the 9th. Was that the first pitch the guy threw? He came in the game. The first pitch he threw, he drills.
Oh, he drilled Gomes first. Was the first guy.
That's what it was.
Pitch. And then he drilled back-to-back hitters. He drilled Gomes. That loaded the bases.
Yeah.
And I love what Tito said on the pregame today. Man, you're so excited you scored a run, but you hope he's okay. But well, any way you can get a run home, you do it.
Giovanni Urshela sends a sky-high pop to right. Willie Garcia takes care of that one away. Player profile brought to you by Levin Furniture. Carlos Rodon's first appearance was against the Indians, and Robin Ventura brought him out of the bullpen with the bases loaded.
Yeah, I remember that very well. His first start to the big leagues, they were calling him up to have a little impact, and they bring him in with the bases loaded and nobody out.
3rd overall pick just 3 years ago. And as you said, they're counting on him now to maybe emerge as the next ace of this staff. Roberto Perez at the plate. His first action in the series. Oh, great jump by Guyer.
I'll tell you what, they're off to the races. They've got something on Rodon, no doubt.
First steal of the year for Guyer.
Jackson took off, got his first steal on first movement. Guyer does the same thing, so they've got something in his delivery. How he comes set or where his feet are, there's some tip he's given away, and they are going to take advantage of it, exploit that today.
Well, this is where Roberto Perez thrives with runners in scoring position. He was going to try to bunt Guyer over to 3rd.
You know, I don't understand that.
I guess he must have been bunting for a hit there with 1 out.
It makes no sense. You're in scoring position. Drive him in. It's early. Don't move him to 3rd. You got to try and get a base hit. That to me is just a waste of a pitch right there.
And when you're Roberto, even if you lay down a perfect bunt, it's not like you got a great chance to beat it out.
Who's going to run for you? That's what you say. You got to go, man. Drive him home.
Down to the dirt. 2-1.
That's why they went early in the count, so you can get yourself in scoring position.
Well, as I said, this is where his eyes should be lighting up, because he has 22 hits on the year. 11 of them have come when he's had a runner in scoring position. He's in a 180 average overall, but 289 this year with runners in scoring position. 2-1. Back on the play. Of the 16 runs batted in these situations. tell that Rodon still not back in the groove as a starting pitcher. He's fighting himself, maybe his mechanics, I don't know. He's already walked 2. And a full count on Roberto. A ball right at the third baseman, Saladino. 2 down. Let's go down to Andre.
Well, Matt, as you talk about Rodon trying to get back into that groove as a starter, you guys know command has been an issue for him. How about this? In his last 2 starts, he's thrown 60 pitches in the first 2 innings in both of his starts. Right now, he sits at 33 pitches. So I guess he's a little bit further ahead than he's been in the last 2 starts. But obviously, command is something that he's truly dealing with right now.
Probably the last thing to come after his arm problem. But yeah, he's halfway there. But it's still in there, and it's waiting to come out if you can get some base runners on.
In the dirt, ball 1 to Bradley Zimmer. Well, he's dead even so far.
Yeah, that's probably one of the toughest things where normally before he was on that DL and lost all that time, he had very good control and could command the baseball. But when you're out there, you don't know where it's going. It's got to be a strange feeling. But you have to work your way back. He went out and did some rehab assignments before getting called up. But this is the true test.
Out of play. 1-1.
Really almost playing Zimmer like a left-handed or right-handed pull hitter. Right center is wide open. We're probably going to see a lot of the sliders away. Pound him in with the fastball.
Well, Bradley has done a nice job. He's back. He's battled a left-handed pitching really well.
He's been absolutely fine.
Got a 6-game hitting streak coming in. And a good eye at the plate. 2-1.
Yeah, good eye at the plate. He's played outstanding defense for him in center field. Here's a good pitch. Let's take a look at it. Nissan pitch tracker. Well, Rodon wanted that pitch. It must have been called low.
Outside, full count, or 3-1, excuse me.
Well, and that's the nice thing when you get a break and he doesn't call that first one. Now it's in your favor. You don't have to swing at another breaking ball. So now sitting in the driver's seat, see if he gets himself a fastball here. That's what he should be looking for. Nope, came back slider. This is the big leagues. They never give in, do they? Came back 3-1 slider and a good one. That's a perfect pitch. Now you say if he throws it 3-1, he'll throw it 3-2. He could come in with a heater right here and surprise him, I would think. Like that.
He did. A couple of strikeouts for Rodon in the first 2. Indians have stranded 2 in scoring position. Josh Tomlin's last start. He struck out 6 Cincinnati Reds in a row.
Yeah. The first 5 guys put the ball in play, and he was 1-0 on the first 5.
Yeah.
After that, he went 0-1 on the next 6, and he had 6 consecutive strikeouts and was in total command. And he has 3 straight here, starting out the ball game.
Matt Davidson leading off for Chicago. And he takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Davidson 1 for 8 in the series. Got 1 hit, a home run. His 20th of the year. He leads the club in that category. Falls behind Tomlin 0-2.
Yeah, and he's done a nice job for a rookie. 20 homers. That's second behind Judge of New York, who has 32. But it's finding him a position. He's DH'd a lot. He's played third today. He's playing first.
Just a bit outside, 1-2. Off the plate. Once again, it's 2-2 now. Throw it by him, and Josh Tomlin has struck out the first 4 to start the game.
You can see how command, location sets everything up. He got ahead of him 0-2, and then he started off with a fastball off the plate, then went to the cutter and went to 2-2, and comes back with a good cutter that started right on the edge, and he expands it. Tomlin's one of the best at setting up pitches when he's ahead in the count, and that's why it's so important for him to be ahead in the count to hitters.
The only other left-handed bat in the lineup today, Yohan Moncada. Outside ball. Moncada and the leadoff man, Lurie Garcia, both switch hitters. Ripped it foul on the right side. Moncada hit his first home run in the big leagues off Jake Arrieta of the Cubs. And the reason that is significant is that he did it on an 0-2 pitch. Just missed. It was the first home run Arrieta had allowed on an 0-2 count in 6 years.
Wow. We've seen some home runs, a lot of hits 0-2 nowadays. Never used to be that way, but it happens a lot now.
Big chopper to first. That ends the strikeout string, but there are 2 down in the second. Down to Andre.
Well, we talk about the success for Josh Tomlin recently. He looks at it as his curveball being the big pitch for him. He told me he doesn't really trust his changeup. Now, he just threw one in that last at bat, but he just doesn't like the movement and the work that his changeup has been doing recently, so he's gone to the curveball to be the pitch that sets him apart and keeps the hitters off balance. He says he can use it east to west, he can go north or south with it, and he just trusts it right now. You see this one against Abreu where he was able to get the strike. That's the pitch that he feels like, because he can slow it down. That's what's keeping the hitters off balance with Josh Tomlin right now.
But you know what I like about JT, Andre, is that if he throws his changeup, he's not going to throw it for a strike. He doesn't trust it, but he still shows it to the hitter when he's ahead in the count to make him believe he'll throw it at any time.
Kevin Smith, the White Sox backup catcher, just 3 for his last 26. White Sox are middle of the pack in the American League with a .252 team batting average, but they are just 13th overall in runs scored. Meanwhile, the Indians are the #1 ranked pitching staff in the American League in ERA with a 3.69 earned run average, and they are second in the league in strikeouts to Houston. They've punched out over 1,000 batters, but they've issued the fewest number of walks, second fewest number of home runs allowed. Ground ball up the middle. Lindor cuts it off. Sets, throws, got him. Josh Tomlin, 6 up, 6 down through the first 2. No score in Chicago. Warm day in Chicago, 79 at game time. Just a tad on the hazy side, but really no clouds, just a few scattered.
Yeah, we're glad there's a few clouds and hazy view. This is a very bright ballpark for day games, much like Detroit is.
Francisco Lindor will lead it off. Struck out his first time up, and it only took 3 pitches. It looked like Rodon had rediscovered his old form, but after that, he labored to get through the first 2. He's already walked a couple, given up a hit, gone deep into some counts. It's already pitch number 40.
Oh, yeah.
Lindor lifts one high in the air to deep left field. It is gone to Souvenir City, and the Indians take the lead 1-0 on Lindor's 16th home run of the year.
Well, he started him off with the slider and then comes back with the fastball, and Francisco made him pay. He knew it. Rodon knew it. For the 9th straight game, the Indians will take the lead. That was right down the middle. 21st homer for the Indians. The 7th home run given up by Rodon.
Frankie now is hitting 10 straight. Austin Jackson picked up a hit in the first inning, extending his hitting streak to 7 games. Ground ball, and that's through into right field. Austin Jackson is 2 for 2, and boy, the way the Indians have been swinging the bat here, it's been impressive. They are now 2nd in the American League in team batting average. They're 4th in runs scored. Look how much they've jumped just during the 9-game win streak.
Yeah, that's impressive.
They've gone from 8th in runs scored to 4th, 6th in batting average to 2nd, 13th in runners in scoring position up to 8th.
That's amazing what you can do when you hit with runners in scoring position. It just keeps, it's so contagious. But you're right. They've jumped up. They went over that 500 run mark. Their batting average went up, what, 8 points. And you're talking about the end of July heading into August. It's not an easy thing to do. When you have 3,500 at bats, you know.
Jose Ramirez was the spark on Friday night with 4 hits, 4 runs scored. Comes in 6th in the American League in batting average. He's tied for 2nd with 31 doubles, 3rd in the league with 5 triples.
Now, I know one thing the Indians, what they've changed to Rodon, he's now going to that slide step on the mound instead of just picking that leg up, because they took off twice on first pitch. That time he lifted it, so he's mixing it in. But with that little pressure comes control, maybe rushing yourself to the plate because they've got him thinking about stealing bases against him.
And now he's behind 3-1.
They've already stolen 2. Jackson had 1 of them. So that's getting into his head early.
In the air, center field. Back goes Engel. Makes the catch. And Jackson retreats to first, 1 away. Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. And Francisco Lindor has now extended his hitting streak to 10 games. Carlos Santana over his last 10 games swinging it very well. Austin Jackson go back over his last 15. It's just scratching the surface. I mean, Zimmer's hitting 6 straight. Geyer's hitting 3 in a row. Santana and Encarnacion is tearing it up against lefties. They've got a number of people really swinging a hot bat, and that's why you get on these kind of rolls, because everybody's pitching.
Well, no question. The starters have been good. They've been pitching good for the whole month of July, but the offense taking off. They're averaging over 7.5 runs a game in the streak. So that's the separator. We had a couple of 2-1 ball games in that streak, and that was it. And they ended up coming on the winning end both times. Then you had one last night where they had to fight back. It was a 5-4 win. So they're winning the 1-run games, and then they're hammering a lot of people in between.
Rodon. Still having a tough time really getting on any kind of consistent roll with his command. He's made 51 pitches, more balls than strikes. 27 balls, only 24 strikes thrown so far. Edwin banks one in the hole. Nice stop by Saladino. Goes to second for 1. They turn the double play. A spectacular play by Tyler Saladino gets Carlos Rodon out of trouble here in the 3rd. But the Indians take a 1-0 lead on the homer by Lindor. Later in the game for Miller time. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Bottom of the third. Josh Tomlin has the bottom third of the White Sox order due here. Tim Anderson, Willie Garcia, Adam Engel.
It's been his weapon, his curveball, get me over strike one to set the the pace. To thinking, okay, they don't want to swing at it.
Back.
A lot of the young hitters, they see that big hump and that bend in that curveball, they're not going to swing. Now maybe in their third at bat, if you're still out there and you try and do that, maybe they'll make an adjustment.
One ball, two strikes. Foul out point.
Sent along birthday wishes to Wayne Hutchins, 79, from Prince Frederick, Maryland, and Geraldine and Bernie Lysop celebrating their 69th wedding anniversary from North Ridgeville. Congratulations.
Right at Lindor. High throw, Santana didn't get on the bag in time. There'll be an error on Lindor. The throw is just a little too tall. When Santana went up in the air, he couldn't get back down quick enough.
No, you are right. It's right there. Routine play for Frankie. Just elevated that throw to first base, and by the time he comes down, Anderson gets there in time to beat it out. An error for the Indians. They're 55th on the year.
Tribe came in tied for 5th in the American League defensively.
Are they thinking of looking at it again?
4th fewest errors committed.
I think they're trying to say they want to know if they're going to take a look at it, and then maybe the replay isn't working. Yeah, they're going to take a peek. They think he came down in time.
Hopefully Barney saw something that we didn't see.
Well, when they were looking in, I think that's why the crew chief Bill Welke came in, but they said go ahead and look at it. If there was communication in the going from the clubhouse to the dugout, I don't know, but it looked like he was safe.
Here's our best look. Yeah.
By the time Santana comes down, unless there's something we don't see from that to me it looks like he's out. Or excuse me, he's safe. I'm sorry, I meant safe, because he went up a good foot and a half to catch that ball.
Well, they did challenge it. Now they don't have any more the rest of the game. Huh. That was puzzling. Willie Garcia in his 3rd stint with the big league club this year. Tomlin out of the stretch for the first time. Doesn't bother him. Fires the first pitch strike.
Yeah, see if Josh can pick his defense up. Get a ground ball, possible double play. That will erase it.
Double play ball. Lindor to Ramirez. On to Santana.
Job done. Well done, Josh Tomlin.
How about the play Saladino made? This is just a great stop, and I thought, well, they'll probably get one. He ends up somehow getting the double play.
See how quickly he got rid of that ball to second base. Made it look easy. That's not an easy play. That's an acrobat right there.
And he hasn't even played the series.
I know.
And he's kind of become maybe their super utility man. He's bounced around defensively. As you stated before, the way things have gone with the White Sox in the last month, they're in sort of rebuild mode, so they're going to be looking at everybody.
Yeah, and rightfully so. They have to make some decisions for the rest of the year. It's going to be a long second half of the year for them. The month of August and September. They got to see who can pitch, what they can do. A lot of decisions.
It's only the second start for Saladino at third base this year.
How about that? He's normally a second baseman.
I guess if you can pick it, you can pick it. Doesn't matter where they play on the dirt. The error does no damage. We've played 3 in Chicago, and the Indians lead at 1-0.
Play MLB action with all your favorite MLB teams and players. Get your RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. Learn more at RBIGame.com.
Carlos Santana leads off the 4th inning. And he takes ball 1. Santana popped up on the infield to end the first with 2 aboard. They lead at 1-0. Strike.
He's trying to get into a rhythm and work quickly, and that's the right thing to do. Slow him down. Carlos stepped out on him.
And Santana down swinging. 3rd strikeout for Rodon. Down here in the 4th. Injury report today brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Robbie Ray lost to the concussion DL for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Mitch Haniger.
Did you see that replay on Ray?
Did not.
Oh, man.
Bad,
Fastball
huh?
about 108 off the bat. Right into the side of the head. He seems to be okay, but concussion protocol. That was scary.
Brandon Guyer walked his only time up in the second. Guyer's collected a hit in 3 straight. And Rodon's, he's found something, it looks like, here in the 4th inning.
Well, that was a nice little tight slider there. He has always had an excellent slider. He mixes that mid-90s fastball in there and his changeup. When he's right, he's as good as they get from the left side.
Out looking. Back-to-back Ks for Rodon, and there are 2 down here in the 4th.
Just watch him go down and away. Perfect pitch right there with a heater. Can't hit it. A lot of guys, right-handers, that first time he went through the lineup, he was throwing that breaking ball back foot down and in, fastballs in. So he's got him looking in there, and that's when he can go fastball or change up down and away.
Out of play, and it's 0-2. Want to send along a special happy birthday wishes today to Michael DeSophie, who turned 5. He's watching back home with his grandfather. He's had a special jersey for each of his first 5 birthdays.
Nice.
With the number on the back. So he's got his number 5 jersey on today.
Good for him. I wonder who his favorite player is.
Now the 1-1. Shoots and foul. I thought you were going to say Lou Boudreaux.
No,
he number 5.
Well, yeah,
and we're
going to honor him on
Yeah.
Saturday with the Yankees when he comes in.
That's going to be great. They're going to have a statue.
Absolutely, and they should.
Unveiling. The 1-2 to Urshela. Popped to shallow center. Out goes Moncada. In comes Engel. And Carlos Rodon breezes through the 4th. 1-0 Cleveland.
We will host Aaron Judge and the New York Yankees in a 4-game series, and on Friday night it'll be Dollar Dog Night. 10,000 fans are going to receive a mason jar mug courtesy of Key Bank. You'll have $2 domestic cans out in the right field district. Also fireworks set to a 1997 Billboard Top 20 theme Just go to Indians.com for your tickets. And, there are very few left for Friday and Saturday's games, so you better hurry.
Top of the order, Leury Garcia, who struck out his first time up. Josh Tomlin fanned the first 4 to start the game. And Garcia takes a strike over the outside corner. Garcia was not in the original starting lineup, but late this morning the White Sox traded Melky Cabrera to the Kansas City Royals for a couple of pitching prospects. And Garcia was then activated from the DL and put into the leadoff spot. By the way, the 2 prospects that the White Sox got, they're big dudes. They're both pitchers. One guy's 6'4", the other one's 6'6". Swung on and missed.
Here's the slow curveball coming up, and you see it's just so tough to sit and wait for that pitch as a hitter, especially those guys that lift that leg out and time it. Nice.
Tomlin takes care of Leury Garcia, 1 down. Time for a game break. Here's Al Pawlowski. Thanks, Al. And with the trading deadline looming, more and more chatter circulating around baseball as to what may happen. The next big move. T.R. Sullivan, who covers the Rangers for MLB.com, tweeted out today that the Yankees and the Dodgers are both in on Yu Darvish. But he says there is apparently a 3rd team also interested that nobody was expecting. Not sure who it is. The intrigue.
Oh yeah, that's a tease, man. So stay with me all day. That trade deadline goes to what, tomorrow at 4 o'clock, I believe.
Yeah. The 1-1. Spins out of the way. Tyler Saladino with a strikeout his first time up. Pop-up. Looks like it's playable. Roberto and Urshela converge. They're both calling for it, and nobody came off. Roberto ends up making the catch, and there are 2 down.
Well, I will say this. It's a tougher play for the catcher. And usually they will peel off and let the 3rd baseman catch it if he's calling for it. They're both calling for it at the same time. Perez emphatically, because he put his hand up, he ends up catching it. But for me, I think it's a little easier play for the 3rd baseman coming in. He's got glasses if he needs them, and looking into that sun, than it is for a catcher taking off the mask. But either way, the play is made. They get the out.
Tomlin straightens him up. 1-on-1. That's back out of play. In his career, 8 for 18 against Tomlin.
Well, this guy Abreu has always seemed to hit Indians pitching well. It doesn't matter how you pitch him, he'll find a way. He's not going to hit that.
Second base runner for Chicago today.
He's trying to go inside with a fastball. Probably sees him leaning out over the plate for his off-speed pitches, so he'll take first base. Let's see. This is going to be a fastball. Oh, hit his elbow?
Yeah, almost like he was leaning that elbow in there a little bit. Well, he was trying to get it back.
Yeah, he tried to get it out. Yep. Chicken wing it, but it still got him on the elbow.
Well, here's Matt Davidson, struck out his only time up in the second inning. Davidson, he's a guy that he has what they call light tower power. He can boom the ball. He has 20 home runs, as I mentioned earlier, leads the club. On Monday against the Cubs.
Oh, I know what you're going to talk about.
Off Koji Uhara. Watch how far this goes. Goes completely out over Waveland Avenue. They measured that 476 feet.
And they say there was a wind blowing in on that day. They did. They said there was a heavy wind blowing in, and they can't believe the distance of it.
Whew. Now the 0-2.
Oh,
man.
I'll tell you, that's a tough one to lay off. That's a great pitch. 0-2. It's a cutter, and it was right there. Boy, that's awfully close. I don't know how they. Well, Perez was sitting off the plate, let's say that. So it looked like it maybe was a little closer than what it might have been. But it was a good 0-2 pitch.
Swung on and missed. He struck him out. And that's Tomlin's 5th K today. 4 scoreless in the books for Tomlin and the Tribe. They lead at 1-0. Baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. Made in Ohio, Ohio proud. Fifth inning, 1-0. Indians lead it. Roberto Perez will lead off for the Tribe.
Well, there you go. There's some complaining going on coming out of that White Sox dugout.
Doesn't need much more explanation than what you just got.
No, exactly right. I heard it from the horse's mouth. They think some pitches are pretty good pitches, and they want them called, and I don't think we'll hear much more from them.
One and one to count.
Well, we always said, though, from the dugouts, you got a much better view of the plate than you do from standing right behind it. You can tell up and down, that's for sure. Pretty good pitch inside.
I know Mike Hargrove used to always feel like when he took over the Tribe and they were scuffling, you know, they had some rough years back in the old stadium,
early 90s.
He always felt like you just, and he wasn't, you know, putting blame or anything of that nature. He just said it felt like when you're a bad team, you just never get the calls that go your way.
That's true.
And I bet most managers would probably feel that, you know, when you're not playing well. And, you know, the White Sox have lost 17 out of 19 coming in. It probably just feels like every call goes against us.
And there may be some truth to that. So you do have to say something every once in a while. I would agree with that.
Swung out and missed. And Carlos Rodon almost seems like ever since the home run that Lindor hit. I know Jackson followed it up with a base hit the other way, but he got the double play ball to get out of that inning, and then he's just been a different guy all of a sudden.
Well, he made a mistake on Lindor, but these guys, you got to see the approach that Austin Jackson has. He has 2 hits. Go the other way. Take it where it's pitched. You know, he's throwing that a lot of the fastballs and sliders inside and then going change-ups away. And then he'll throw some right-handers, some fastballs away when he gets ahead, just to change it up a little bit. So he's getting into a little bit of a rhythm now.
He has struck out 3 of the last 4 hitters.
There's the slider he started at Zimmer. Breaks it over the inside part of the plate. Now he'll go away with one if he's going to throw the slider. Back him off and then go away.
Right by him again, plays 97 miles an hour with that fastball. And that's 6 Ks now for Rodon. 4 of the last 5 hitters. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers, and it was a Francisco Lindor solo homer in the 3rd, accounting for the only run in this game, his 16th home run of the year.
He's pounding the strike zone now. He's out there. He's loose. And this is the guy. This is the guy we're used to seeing. Last couple of innings. 2 strikeouts in the 4th. Got 2 here, and ahead of Frankie 0-2. This is the guy he made the mistake to in his last at bat.
Taps it back to Rodon. He retires the side in order. He has set down 8 straight. 1-0 Tribe. We're halfway through here in Chicago.
sudden, out comes Tito and one of the trainers with the umpire to come out. I didn't notice anything. He's been throwing the ball very well. Obviously, they must have talked in between innings if something is going on here with JT.
He's done.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
He's leaving the game.
Well, there was something right there, that last pitch, and he said go down, but they saw something. I don't know if that throw coming out of his hands, I didn't see anything. Well, and out comes Tomlin, and he was twirling a gem. In 4 innings, no hits.
One man had reached on an error, one hit batter. He had struck out 5. So the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made shockingly here in the 5th inning. Nobody saw this coming, at least up from where we sit. Nick Goody will take over when we come back. To start today for the Indians, and he came out and struck out the first 4 batters.
Yeah.
He only 1 base runner first time through, and that was Tim Anderson, who got on via the air from Lindor, erased on a double play ball. And he hit Jose Abreu in the 4th, struck out Matt Davidson to end the inning. Came back out here for the 5th, and as he was warming up, Roberto Perez saw something. It was on this one right here. Now you tell me if you see anything out of the ordinary.
I don't know.
He did, because he quickly summoned the trainer or the manager, one of them. They both came out, and they decided that he would not continue.
Well, that's where Tito, I think, is just talking him into it. You come out, we don't want you to go over there and, get yourself hurt anymore. Hey, and this bullpen's used to something like this. I mean, so
this is a walk in the park for this bullpen.
Yeah, they're already 4 innings into it. So he's going to come out in the 5th inning. Nick Goody for the 38th time. And as soon as we hear something, we'll get it to you on Josh Tomlin. But hopefully it's going to be nothing serious, because he's been pitching pretty well.
Yoan Moncada will lead off for Chicago.
Nothing's changed. 2 pitches, 2 strikes for Nick Goody. He comes out doing the same thing Tomlin was doing, throwing strikes. How about that?
High fastball ate him up. 1 down here in the 5th. Let's go down to Andre.
Well, we're still working to find out what's going on with Josh Tomlin right now at this point in time, as they've taken him back into the clubhouse. But in talking to Josh yesterday about the 6-man rotation and just where they are as pitchers, he's the one guy that says, I don't care where we pitch. And he goes, and that's the conversation we're all having. This is about 25 men in this 40-man roster getting to the World Series. He says, Tito has told us that's the plan and the goal. He goes, so that's what I'm going to carry out. If they put me in the bullpen, that's fine. And he goes, and we all feel that way, that we have to do what's best for the Cleveland Indians, and that's what not best for us.
Right. Well, and that's so true. Well, he's the longest tenured Indian, so does that surprise you? It doesn't me.
No.
He's a team player, man.
Well, he said that. If you guys remember back to spring training 2 years ago, when it was he or Bauer, it was just remember that we didn't know who was going to be the starter. And
right.
He goes, the plan is to win the World Series. It's not about how many innings I pitch.
Swung out and missed by Kevin Smith.
Well, the thing of it is, his last 3 games he has won. He was pitching very good in this ball game. Certainly hope it's all right. But as we always say, the players will make the decision themselves.
They tend to work them. These things tend to work themselves out.
They really do when it comes to baseball. If he's hurt and he can't go, well, then we have 5 starters now.
I would have to think it's a fairly good sign that A, he didn't limp off the mound. B, he wasn't in any obvious discomfort. He wasn't grabbing his arm or anything of that nature. So whatever it is, you would hope is not of any kind of a serious nature. 2-1 pitch, swung out and missed. And the count evens up. But Andre will keep his ear to the ground, and we'll have the very latest when and if it becomes available. Two. Got him looking. And Nick Goody has punched out 2 in a row.
No kidding. He's going to start the game like Tomlin did, 4 in a row. Well, he comes out here and watch the location of the fastball. Boy, that's just picture perfect. Right on the outside edge. Not much you can do as a hitter. You can't say much. It's right there. Take a walk back and say, my goodness. That's where you tip your cap to the pitcher, even though you hate to do it, but you have to.
Another good pitch. It's low, right at the knees. Tim Anderson. 1 for 8 in the series. Waves at the off-speed pitch, and now Goody trying to put him away and retire the side in order. And the 0-2 is able to lay off. Tim Anderson in his last 8 games, just 4 for his last 29. Two balls and 2 strikes. Obviously, the White Sox have a cornerstone in Jose Abreu. They feel strongly about Yohan Moncada. I think they really like this guy too, Tim Anderson. He's athletic, can make all the plays defensively. They feel he'll get better with the bat as time goes on. Full count.
Well, from 0-2 to 3-2.
Struck him out looking. And Nick Goody strikes out the side here in the 5th. He picks up where Tomlin left off. 1-0 Indians. And Rick Renteria has just been ejected from the game. This was the called 3rd strike to end the inning. And Rick Renteria was barking from the dugout, and he was ejected from the game. I don't know about you. I miss Lou Piniella.
Oh, with the
miss Billy
tirades.
Martin and Earl Weaver and the guys that just used to blow their stack and give the crowd a real show.
Well, he went out there and he was warned from the home plate umpire, look, you've had your set, had enough, I don't want to hear any more. He was told. So he knew that if he said anything, and even though that pitch was off the plate, he was going to get run. But yeah, you want a little show for your money, right?
Line drive right field, and it's going to be caught by Willie Garcia. Rick Renteria is still sitting there in the front row of the dugout.
Well, I don't know if anybody looked to see he's still there.
Unless maybe, was it somebody else that got ejected?
Maybe.
That's probably what happened.
That's where he came out and he wasn't livid. Is Don Cooper down there?
I can't see. That looks like Cooper next to him.
Next to him, okay.
Might have been the hitting coach.
Yeah.
Who knows? There's a long drive, deep left, over near the line. It's a fair ball and up into the seats for a ground rule double. So Jose Ramirez in the second base with 1 out here in the 6th.
It's a 4th hit for the Indians and the second extra base hit. This was right down the line, off the end of the bat. Rodon trying to get a little body English to get it foul, but it bounces on the track and into the seats for a ground rule double. just inside the line down there at 330. So for Ramirez, his 32nd double, another extra base hit.
And Edwin Encarnacion, who has walked and grounded into a double play, stands in. No balls, 2 strikes. Do you remember anybody being a notorious bench jockey during your playing days?
Oh, everybody used to.
Everybody would ride the umpires.
Absolutely. Everybody had to do it. You're sitting up there, you're sitting in your dugout, sure you would. You'd be watching a lot of guys, especially guys that weren't in there every day.
Flared, foul, and Encarnacion cracked the bat. He'll need a new one.
Let me put it this way, there were more guys that would do it than would not. Well, you're watching a game that keeps you into the game.
Do you remember anybody getting the heave-ho from just sitting on the bench?
Oh, yeah. Well, from talking?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Many times. Many times.
Was it simply, Arch, because I think fans are curious about this kind of thing, is it simply a magic word if the umpire hears a certain word you're thrown, or is it just the accumulation of everything?
Yeah, it could be. You know, they can have a bad day too. You know, they're entitled to have a bad day and miss some pitches and do things like that. But you know, when they'll tell you enough's enough. Heard enough. I don't want to hear anymore. And then you know you're going to get a smart aleck that goes up there and says something, as you always do.
There's a runner going. Here's the throw. He is safe. Jose Ramirez with his 11th steal of the year. And the reason I can't stop laughing is because I know who the smart aleck was. He's sitting right next to me.
No, I was an everyday player. That wasn't me. No.
Yeah, but if an umpire ever told you that's enough, you'd be the first one.
I was never
under your breath going.
Well, yeah, I'd get someone else to do it. I'd agitate him. There's the strikeout, but Ramirez a good jump, a 3rd stolen base for the Indians. I was never ejected in my 13-year career, so it wasn't me. I knew how to do it diplomatically, and that's why Andre calls me the governor.
Diplomacy is your thing. Todd Steverson, on the other hand, not so much. He was the one ejected, the hitting coach for the White Sox.
And so there you go. He's sticking up for his young hitters as that strike zone expands. It's frustrating. But you know what? It's going to be frustrating for them for a while. And then, you know, they'll see probably more of that. As, you know, it happens. And it just wears on you after a while. They haven't, what did they win? They've won 1 game since the second half began.
They've lost 17 out of 19.
17 out of 19.
Before that.
I know it. So it is very frustrating.
Up and away.
You know, with the young hitters, they think they can get away with it and they can expand the zone a little bit. And you know what? I say if you're going to expand the zone, do it with everybody. Just don't do it to the young kids. But some veteran hitters earn the respect, and sometimes that strike zone shrinks.
Jam job. That'll get the run home. Saladino with another terrific play. Throws him down. Oh, I'm sorry, there are 2 down. So that ends the inning, and the Indians lead it still 1-0.
to get to the ballpark early for a pregame unveiling of the Lou Boudreau statue on Saturday, August 5th. 12,500 fans are going to receive a replica statue that'll be courtesy of Wayside Furniture. The Indian series against the New York Yankees. Time for that statue of the great Lou Boudreau. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Nick Goody, after retiring the side in order on strikeouts in the 5th, comes back out to pitch here in the 6th with Dan Otero getting loose in the bullpen. Indians still clinging to a 1-0 lead. Josh Tomlin went 4 shutout innings. He struck out 5, did not allow a base hit. He hit a batter, and then Goody came on and struck out all 3 in the 5th.
He did go on that one too.
Willie Garcia banged into a double play and wiped out Tim Anderson, who had reached on an error in the 3rd inning. Just a bit wide, 1-2. Boston leads the Royals 3-1 in the 7th inning at Fenway. Indians started the day with a 3-game lead over Kansas City after the Tribe ran their win streak to 9 in a row last night, and Kansas City lost in extra innings in Boston. Swung out and missed. Willie Garcia down swinging. That's 4 straight for Nick Goody.
Just exactly what Tomlin did the first 4 hitters a game. Nick Goody does the same thing.
T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break. Pudge Rodriguez inducted into the Hall of Fame today. Could be a big day for Texas baseball fans because you get Pudge getting inducted and then Adrian Beltre sitting on 2,999 hits.
True, but I'll tell you what, Rodriguez, one of the best catchers of all time, 14-time All-Star, 13-time Gold Glove winner. He's one of the guys that, you know, you did not run out because he could throw you out. He did it at a rate of about 50%, it seemed like, every year.
And he was one of the guys that really helped turn the Tigers' fortunes around. Remember,
yes, he did.
They've been down for a number of years, and then he signed there as a free agent, and then all of a sudden Maglio Ordonez signed. They started to really get people to want to go there. 0-1 pitch up and in. A pretty good sustained competitive run for Detroit that maybe has finally reached its end. Tigers began the day 10 games under 500. The 1-1. I don't know that they're looking at the same kind of stripped down rebuild that they've got going on now here in Chicago, but well, they're headed that way, it looks like.
One of the reasons you may not see that is because the guys that they signed are too much money. They're going to have to eat some of that money. No one's going to take that money in the contracts that they have out there. Who knows Justin Verlander, you know, in his extension, Cabrera in his situation, and obviously, who's the other pitcher there that was in the bullpen? Anibal Sanchez. And, you know, it's no one's going to take him. You know, you may want to try and move him, but it's a tough move unless you eat some of the contract.
Adam Engel 0 for 7 in the series. Staring at a 2-2 count. And Nick Goody has fanned 5 in a row. Whoa. Tomlin started the game by striking out the first 4, then struck out Davidson to end the 4th inning for his 5th strikeout. Then Tomlin had to leave as he made his final warm-up pitch in the 5th inning. Nick Goody has come on and he has been lights out.
That's another fastball there. He thought he was going to get the slider, and he just throws a dart on the outside corner. Made a couple of pitches like that.
2 down. We go to the top of the order. Leury Garcia, switch hitter, 0 for 2. He struck out in the first, tap back to Tomlin in the fourth. Goody fires, and it's fouled off on the right side.
Well, you're wondering when these Chicago hitters may get aggressive early in the count because they're seeing nothing but strikes. So, you know, usually a hitter will go up there and watch and say, man, they're getting aggressive. I'm going to get after it. Goody, 3 of his 5 strikeouts are called. So he's proven he can get the strike zone. He can get ahead of you. Be ready.
One and one with 2 down here in the 6th. Foul right back. Again, the Indians came into today with the best ERA in the American League at 3.69. They've issued the fewest number of walks. They haven't walked anybody today. Second in strikeouts, and they've punched out 10 once again. And what did Kluber had 12 last night? I think they finished with what, 15 or 16.
Yeah, I think 16. Yes.
The 1-2. A point.
Yep, 16.
Jake Petrichka is warming in the Chicago bullpen, so could be that Carlos Rodon, his day might be over after 6 innings. Nick Goody ready with a 1-2. And again, Garcia got a piece of it. Carlos Rodon has made 93 pitches.
Well, he's pitched a heck of a ball game today.
It's about where he's kind of been. 98 last time,
Right.
94, 95.
Remember, this is only his 6th start, so you know it's like spring training. It usually takes about 5 or 6 starts to get you to that 100 pitch mark.
On the foul back. Leury Garcia is listed at 5'8". The White Sox tell us only 17 players shorter than him have homered in White Sox history. With a 1-2. In the air to right.
You didn't.
Back deep. Garcia has gone out of the yard on the first hit of the game for Chicago, and it's a home run. And we're tied at 1. So the little man provides the power. That's his 7th home run this year.
Well, you're going to see a slider here that Goody leaves upstairs, and it speeds up his bat. And he gets enough of it. And Goody done for the afternoon.
How about that? Goody had struck out 5 in a row. And the White Sox didn't have a hit. And Garcia tattoos one to tie the game. And now Dan Otero is coming on when we come back. Dan Otero coming on now to pitch to Tyler Saladino with 2 down in the 6th inning. All right.
Yep.
Ground ball up the gut. Lindor throws him out. It's a pair of solo homers so far today. Lindor for the Indians, Lurie Garcia for the White Sox. Ball is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. By the stylish 2017 Kia Optima, and by Smart Path Forward. Lakeland Community College is your Smart Path Forward. Get started today. And the statue of Carlton Fisk. 1-1 as we go to the 7th.
He just got beat in the big head race. Harold Baines beat him. Come out of center field, go to second base, and go back out. And
I don't think Carlton Fisk could ever beat Harold Baines in a race.
No. And looks like they're going to go out and make a pitching change here. Again, now they had their bullpen up and throwing unless they added another person out there that wasn't throwing prior to that inning. I thought they were going to make a change. Petrichka was up throwing, and
Aaron Bummer, the left-hander.
That's a bummer. He got up later. Unless what are they looking at? A finger there?
It did
tell me another blister. That's what they're looking at, a blister. That could be that slider spot. Now the pitching coach says, all right, hold on, that's my guy. I got to get a look at him. What's wrong here?
Yeah, it looks like a finger to me.
Well, we mentioned, all right, he's gonna stay in there, huh? He talked his way into it. You know why? He's throwing the ball well. He doesn't want to come out of there. He's got a pretty good feel going right now. He's only allowed 4 hits to the Indians. A solo home run, a couple of singles to Austin Jackson, and a double to Ramirez. He's facing the bottom part of the lineup, going down to 6, 7, and 8. So he tucked his way in there. We'll see. They'll keep a close eye, I'm sure. Instead of the breaking ball, let's go with the changeup.
Not out of play. It's 0-2. Brandon Guyer walked back in the 2nd inning. He stole a base, but he was stranded. Indians have left 3 in scoring position. And as Rick told you, they only have 4 hits. One of those left the yard on the Lindor homer. Chicago's only hit a solo home run last inning. and strikes his guy. We go to Andre.
All right, got a couple updates for you. Josh Tomlin left with a left hamstring issue. That's why he's out today. For Jason Kipnis, he finally was able to play for AAA Columbus today. He was pulled in the 6th inning. They played 2 games today, basically, 7-inning games. He ground out, struck out, flew out. One ball was fielded at second base. Was told he moved pretty well at second. I'll let you know if he plays in the second game. Also, Michael Brantley is lurking. He's off today, but he has gone back, worked out, has his bat and glove. If they take the left-handed pitcher out, be aware of him.
Giovanni Urshela 0 for 2. Thompson 5. And this will be the 100th pitch of the day for Rodon. Rocketed foul. The other way, out of play. Urshela pops another ball foul on the right side. That's out of play. Ground ball up the middle, and that's going to get through. So the go-ahead run is aboard with 1 out here in the 7th inning. As Urshela singles right up the gut, and he's reached now a 10 straight.
Well, he gets one to his liking, and then he gets a ground ball, finds the hole up the middle. That's hit number 5, a 1-out single.
Roberto Perez is 0 for 2. He has grounded out and he has struck out. And he takes a strike. Good fastball. He's maintained his velocity.
Yes,
This is at 95.
He sure has, Matt. He's maintained it. Everything has been fine. This is the guy that we've seen in the past. He's always pitched well. He's 4-1 in his career against the Indians with a 245, and he hasn't shown us any different today.
Yeah, he struggled early with his command. He wasn't real sharp, but the Indians couldn't.
4th inning.
They couldn't knock him out of there, and then all of a sudden he locked it in. When he got that double play ball off the bat of Encarnacion,
Yep.
It's like he flipped a switch.
After that, hitting the home run and the single, you're right. The double play ball, he's been a different guy. He's given up 2 hits, but he's moved it around. He's been in a nice rhythm. You're saying, let's hurry up and get him out of there. Well, he's got the number 8 and 9 hitters to go.
Takes it for a called 3rd strike. Number 9 for Rodon. 2 down in the inning.
You know, he has the good fastball, the mid-90s. He's got that hard slider, back foot, and he also has the changeup. But when you see the way he commands it, he can go to both sides of the plate with it. He gets ahead of you. He throws that breaking ball down and in. He can throw the fastball by you. He's been very good. You can see how this is going to be their blue chip or their number 1 draft pick of a few years ago. This is going to be the guy that's going to lead this staff once he gets healthy.
Now Bradley Zimmer 0 for 2 has struck out twice against Rodon. And a high fastball can't catch up to it.
Yeah, that's when you want to lay off if you're a left-hander. because his breaking ball is so good, and you just, in the back of your mind, you're always thinking about it, and you're not going to catch up to that above the belt. That is for sure.
Zimmer in the hole 0-2.
But you know what? This is good. This is what Bradley Zimmer is going to see for the years to come. You're going to face this guy in the division. You might as well get a look at him and see what he has to offer. And it's a lot.
Put him away, Carlos. Put him away.
Two-strike pitch. Zimmer lines it into left center field.
Beautiful.
Urshela stumbled going around second. The throw will keep Zimmer at first. Urshela makes it to third, so Indians at the corners with 2 down.
And that's the right play when you're an outfielder. You can't get caught up into throwing that ball to third base, even though Urshela slid and the footing out there going to third base almost fell down. But he doesn't. Zimmer does a nice job of taking that ball the other way. And Engel says, okay, I'm just going to throw it to second base, which is the wise thing. You have 2 outs, and that's going to do it for Carlos Rodon. A good start for him today.
Rick Renneria has already made the call to the bullpen for the right-hander Jake Petrichka. So Rodon leaves. The 2 runners on base, his responsibility with 2 down in the 7th in a tie game. The damage he did against the Indians in his career, but he too is now forever immortalized here in Chicago with the statue, part of the 05 World Championship team.
Good player for a long time here in Chicago.
New pitcher, right-hander Jake Petrichka. Petrichka to face Francisco Lindor with 2 on and 2 out. Lindor homered in the 3rd. He did that right-handed.
Petrichka came out in last night's ball game, went 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit, had a walk. And right now he's trying to get the 1 out and keep this game at 1-1.
Old foul by Lindor.
Don't be surprised if Lindor gets down in the count. You'll see Zimmer take off either. Don't know if they'll throw through, although Urshela average speed at 3rd.
Michael Brantley has a bat next to Terry Francona. Should Lindor reach, he could sub Brantley for Austin Jackson. That would force Renneria probably to go to his left-hander Aaron Bummer, who's up in the pen. Zimmer takes off. call a strike, no throw, and a steal for
Perfect.
Zimmer.
That's what you do. Take it. You knew they weren't going to throw it through in that situation. The young team. So Zimmer will get the 4th stolen base for the Indians today. And this kid, he's going to be just fine stealing bases. Well done. That's a nice slide right there. Always goes feet first. I like that. Well, base hit can give you 2.
But it's 0-2, and that high, the pitch is high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's okay.
Slapped it, foul.
Nice little changeup that Frankie's able to get a piece of and stay alive, man. He had to watch him reach. This one must have been off the plate. He hit a really good pitch right there to stay alive, so he's in the protect mode to try and put it in play.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Go ahead run, Giovanni Urshela at third base. Bradley Zimmer down at second. The left fielder Lurie Garcia and the center fielder Engel, they play Lindor as if he were a right-handed pull hitter.
Well, in this situation now with 2 strikes, you can see the swings he's putting on. He's not trying to, hit it. He's just trying to get it in play. Live for another pitch and hopes he makes a mistake. But he's fouled off a nice changeup, a good fastball, and now Smith wants to go out and talk to him. And now everybody wants to come into the equation. That's what happens. You get young players; they all got to be on the same page. Discuss it, you go over it, and let's go, boys. Heads up for a ball in the dirt if you're Urshela.
Popped it up, left field. Lurie Garcia makes the catch. Tribe strands 2 more. Stretch time in Chicago, tied at 1.
savings and access to Tribe Rewards. Today's Tribe Rewards code is Mickey. Just visit Indians.com for the details.
Let's go down to Andre.
Well, as we continue along this season, we've had a lot of fun in seeing the mini baseballs created by the Indians. This may be the best one. You guys know what this is. It's pretty apropos considering we're in Chicago.
Bauer.
Yes, and you took a picture, Matt, earlier this weekend before the series started. This is the no drone zone. If you remember, we started the season here last year, and there were some drone issues. So the boys put this one together last night, and that's the newest one, and there's a couple more coming in the next few days.
I like the fact they have the headphones on him.
Yes.
They've got the little arm,
yes,
band
the shoulder
that he
thing.
uses. That's really creative.
I gotta tell you, this one's been worked on since we were back at home on Thursday.
A lot of craftsmanship.
Is this your favorite, Andre?
This is my favorite. Danny Salazar had to do some work for the shoulder lift and painting it black. There's a lot of work went into that one, guys.
Jose Abreu will lead off the bottom of the 7th for Chicago, and it's inside ball 1. Abreu struck out in the first. He was hit by a pitch in the 4th. Dan Otero, 36th appearance on the year. Two batters, 2 ground ball outs for Dan Otero. Brian Shaw getting loose right now in the Cleveland pen. Matt Davidson to the plate. He is 0 for 2 and struck out twice. Short, Lindor. Perfect throw, 2 down. Get inside the golf zone with Jimmy Hanlon, presented by Farm & Guard. Just a week after Jordan Spieth's epic win overseas at the Open, it's the seniors' turn. Jimmy will have the highlights, tips to improve your score. It's all coming up on the golf zone tonight at 8, Fox Sports Ohio, and streaming on Fox Sports Go. Yohan Moncada, 0 for 2. Outside, 3-0. How about that?
Well, doesn't look like he wanted a whole lot to do with him right there. Looks like he wanted to take his chance with the right-hander, Smith.
Kevin Smith 0 for 2 is grounded out, struck out. A hole, base hit. And the White Sox have 2 on with 2 out. And that happens when you have a ground ball pitcher. Every once in a while, those balls in on the ground find a hole.
Smith finds the hole right back up the middle. It's a sinker. You get your ground ball, but they're not playing them up there. You can see they're playing them more of a pull situation where Ramirez was, but he gets it on the shortstop side. That is only their second hit of the day.
Two on, two out. Tim Anderson 1 for 9 in the series. Slow chopper to short. Lindor flips it to Ramirez to retire the side. We'll go to the 8th. Tied at 1. By authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. One 8th inning. For the Indians, 2, 3, 4 hitters due up. Austin Jackson, Jose Ramirez, and Edwin Encarnacion. Jackson singled in each of his first 2 trips to the plate and flied to right his last time up. Austin 5 out of 11 in the series. Coming off the DL with that quadricep injury, he has really been swinging the bat well. Rounds it to third, backhanded by Saladino. 1 away. Miller Time brought to you by Miller Lite. And on this date in 2008, it was Kelly Shoppach Day at Progressive Field.
Boy, what a day he had. 5 extra base hits, 3 doubles, look at the flip, and 2 home runs. What an afternoon. Unfortunately, the Indians lost that game, believe it or not. I think it was 14-12.
Jose Ramirez 1 for 3, doubled in the 6th.
umpires in the crowd.
Double barrel action in the Chicago pen. Ground ball single up the middle for Jose Ramirez. His second hit of the afternoon. And the Tribe has the go-ahead run aboard once again.
Yeah, they were playing him really to pull over on the second base side, and the shortstop stayed on his side, so there was really a lot of room over there. As he did get jammed a little bit, but look where they're standing, and plenty of room for Jose to get a base hit there.
Edwin Encarnacion takes a strike. Just 1 for 10 in the series. He walked him 3 times. He has been able to score a couple of runs. And that 1 hit did drive in a run. Out of play to the right. And it's 0-2.
Sit away and you throw it away and you try and bring it back, and that's not as close as people think.
Encarnacion patiently has the count back to even at 2-2. Looked it right field, but slicing foul. Well out of play as it bounces up into the seats. So stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. These are the kind of situations, though, when you think about it, that these are why this is why you went and got Edwin Encarnacion. Power hitter, late in the game, tight. I'm not saying you expect him to hit home runs, but
you expect him to be in the middle of it.
Yeah. Sting one here somewhere. 2-2. Fly ball to right. 2 down.
Well, kids tickets start at just $15 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. The tickets are located in the family deck out of Progressive Field, home to the expanded kids clubhouse, and they are only available at Indians.com.
Carlos Santana coming up with a runner at first and 2 down, and the Indians and White Sox tied at 1 in the 8th. Shift on. 3 to the right side for Santana. 0 ball 1.
Carlos out with a changeup, knowing that he can get on that fastball.
Despite winning last night 5-4, the Indians left 14 men on base. They've left 6 so far here this afternoon. 5 of the 6 in scoring position. Santana right at it. The shortstop Anderson with the shift on, and the inning is over. Go to the bottom of the 8th, still tied at 1. For Rodon, it was about command and pitch count, and he was very good. Nothing like the previous starts he had made where he had been awful. And they've pitched around Abreu today and held him in check for most of the series.
Yeah, they have. They've done a good job. That's the one guy now you have to pitch around in every game if you're playing the White Sox.
Ryan Shaw on to work the 8th. Willie Garcia, Adam Engel, and Lurie Garcia due up. Now it's 2-2. So full count for Willie Garcia, who's banged into a double play and struck out. Jose Ramirez says, "I'll take it." 1 down. Time for a game break. Here's Al Pulaski. Well, congratulations to Adrian Beltre. Just the 31st player ever to reach that plateau.
Well, whenever he retires, 5 years after that, he'll be going into where they're going into today. Tim Raines, Bagwell, Rodriguez, and the rest.
Adam Engel 0 for 2. Outside, 1-1. Popped up foul. Let's see. Santana had a long go. Can't get there.
Well, you lose where you're located and you're looking up into the sky, and then there it is, and it sort of rolls in there, and he just keeps going. He didn't stop.
So with 1 out, a 1-2 pitch upcoming to Adam Engel. Got in on him, popped it up. Lindor calling for it. And we've got 2 down. Down to Andre.
Well, you just mentioned Adrian Beltre getting his 3,000th hit last night. Really cool moment inside the Indians clubhouse. Beltre came up late in the game, and the whole clubhouse stopped. We were getting ready to interview Corey Kluber, and we all stopped and watched the at-bat. And you realize that these players are fans just like everybody else. The oohs and ahs off of every pitch. It was just a cool moment that these guys respect the history that was being made down in Texas. It was really cool to see.
And the respect for Beltre just in general.
Yep, I agree. I'll tell you what, I don't know if anybody has more fun playing the game than Adrian Beltre. He's done it a long time, and a really talented baseball player.
Lurie Garcia homered in the 6th. The only run of the game for Chicago. Ramirez spins around, throws, got him in the side, is retired. We go to the 9th. Deadlocked at 1.
Okay, so he got out of the way of that 102-mile-an-hour heater.
Tyler Clippard is a new pitcher for Chicago as we go to the 9th of a tie game. It's Brandon Guyer, Gio Urshela, and Roberto Perez due up for the try. High pop-up, foul, out of play. Jake Petrichka worked an inning and a third of scoreless baseball.
Just coming over from the Yankees into this White Sox bullpen. A guy that is very deliberate when he gets on the mound. We witnessed that last night. Change-up master.
Now the 0-2. A little low. Guyer with a walk, and a stolen base. Back in the second inning. Struck out twice since then. Now the 1-2. Low. The 2-2. Now the 2-2 delivery. And struck him up. Up high with it. One down.
Elevated fastball out of the zone, but it looks so good. You swing at it and you don't catch up to it. That's what he likes to do. Tease you with that fastball above the belt, attack you with the changeup, maybe a little breaking ball.
High. Ball one to Giovanni Urshela, who singled up the middle his last time up for his second hit of the series.
They've been able to hold that Indians offense to just one run, and it was a solo home run back in the third by Lindor.
Lazy pop up, shallow left. 2 down. Indians have 7 hits. They've left 7 on base, 5 of the 7 in scoring position.
Well, the one thing Chicago didn't do today with the Indians is walk. They only walked 2, and one came in the first inning. The second one came in the second, and that's it. They haven't given them any free passes, and that's one thing that the Indians have been able to take advantage of recently in this streak. When you give them extra base runners and walks, 3, 4 or 5, they've taken advantage of it.
Strike called on the outside edge to Roberto Perez, who was 0 for 3.
See, Toronto came back on the Angels. They were winning, I think, 10-3 going into the bottom of the 9th. It was 10-4 over and out, and then how about that?
11-10 Blue Jays front. That's like Andre told me. Alex Gordon, you know, they trade for Melky Cabrera today. Gordon Gets a 2-run triple off a left-hander to give the Royals the lead.
Oh, no kidding.
(5-3) Kansas City. 8th inning in Fenway. I think they've gone to the 9th. Looking off in disgust. He thought it was good enough to get called.
Yeah, he felt it was in the zone. A look out. Well, 3-1 count.
Drilled left field. Fair ball in the corner. Got touched by a fan. Perez will get second base. So a double with 2 down here in the 9th gives the Indians an opportunity, and Eric Gonzalez will come on to pinch run now for Roberto.
Well, you got the count in your favor, and then he really smokes this changeup, and it stays fair down the line. So that one pitch that didn't get called, he may think, oh my goodness, there's the fan interference where he touched it. So now Gonzalez runs for Perez, and that's the go-ahead run out there for Bradley Zimmer, who singled in his last at-bat. And that last at-bat came off the starter, Carlos Rodon. So the Indians ended the 9th with 2 outs last night. There was nobody on. There were 2 outs. They ended up getting a walk, a base hit, 2 hit batters, and they scored a run. Today, 2 outs, you get a leadoff double, and let's see what happens.
High 2-1. So in that game in Toronto, Kevin Pillar down 10-4. Kevin Pillar hit a 2-run homer.
It's at 6.
Russell Martin had an RBI single, and they loaded
7.
him up, and Steve Pearce hit a walk-off grand slam.
And they only had 1 out in the inning, too. They were only able to get the 1 out, huh?
Yep.
That's incredible. What a comeback. Count in Zimmer's favor here, 2-1. But it really takes a long time to get rid of the baseball. This is unbelievable. This happened last night, too. He was almost a minute in between pitches.
Can't be that hard.
As usual, once the catcher comes in, it's almost like all the infielders are on strings. They come running in and they talk about it too.
Now Bradley Zimmer Has the count in his favor at 2-1. And Tyler Clippard ready to deliver. Outside, 3 balls in the strike.
Back with a 3-1 changeup, brings it to 3-2.
He's going through every sign he's got. Is there any left?
I don't want the changeup. I don't want the fastball. Okay, I'll throw the changeup.
Now we're ready. And the payoff pitch. Bottom of the ninth coming up.
A pitch up, a hanging slider by Nick Goody. Speeds up his bat. That home run tied the game. That was home run number 7 for Garcia. We are entering the bottom of the ninth now. It's still just a 1-1 ball game. Both teams have scored on solo home runs today.
Yomer Sanchez will pitch hit for Tyler Saladino. Shaw delivers a strike. Shaw worked a 1-2-3-8. Jan Gomes now takes over behind the plate. Tied him up, 0-2. Santana will take that himself, and there's 1 down. Jose Abreu 0 for 2 today, hit by a pitch back in the 4th inning. Shaw gets ahead of Abreu. A ball and a strike. Indians, White Sox tied here in the bottom of the ninth. Tribe trying to extend their win streak to 10 in a row. Chicago looking to stop a 5-game skid. The 1-1 out of play. Shortly before the game began today, the White Sox traded away Melky Cabrera to Kansas City, marking the 7th player they have traded in the last couple of weeks. A 1-2 way outside.
Well, you can see he's thrown that slider twice in this at bat, but he's going to make darn sure he doesn't hang it. So he's going to bounce it, if anything, to see if Abreu wants to chase it. Other than that, the cutters have been the strikes. The sliders have been out of the zone for balls.
Out of play. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the ninth.
White Sox still with just 2 hits today. One in the 6th. They had a no-hitter going into that 2-out home run, and then a 2-out single in the 7th, and that is it.
But that's been enough because Carlos Rodon was really good today. Jake Petrichka in inning in the 3rd scoreless, and Tyler Clippard in the scoreless inning. Left field, fair ball. Abreu headed to second, and he'll go in standing with a 1-out double.
This is why you don't want to hang him a breaking ball. First of all, let's look at the sequence here. Pitch by pitch, cutter, strike 1. Then he's going to throw that slider, misses low. Cutter, strike 2, misses with the breaking ball. And then he came right back in with a fastball, another cutter, and then hung him the breaking ball. It's lucky he stayed in the yard. This is a guy that hits him a long way. He will get a double on it. That'll be his 28th double, so that's the winning run in scoring position now for the White Sox.
Alan Hansen will pinch run for Abreu with 1 down. And the batter will be Matt Davidson, who is 0 for 3 in the game. 1 for 11 in the series. Shaw ready. He fires, and Davidson takes low. 1-1. Pete Davidson wins it with his team-leading 21st home run of the year. And the White Sox stop the Indians' win streak at 9.
Well, there you see it right down Broadway with a high cutter, and he smokes it into left center field. It's the third home run allowed by Brian Shaw. This is going to be the walk-off, and the rookie with the most home runs on the Sox ends the ball game. And makes it a 3-1 game. All the runs today scored on the long ball, and it's tough. They couldn't get into anything else on the board. Unfortunately for the Indians, that ends their 9-game winning streak.
And with the Royals beating Boston at Fenway today, it means the Indians now head to Boston with a 2-game lead over Kansas City in the American League Central Division race. The Indians will leave town 57-46 on the year. And the White Sox get their 40th win. They're now 40-62 this season. Kind of a disappointing end to the series, the way the Indians were playing. The offense just kind of fell flat today.
Yeah, they did. They just couldn't do anything. And I'll tell you what, they ran into a guy that you're saying, man, this guy, Carlos Rodon, he wasn't throwing the ball very well. Well, he threw it well today. That's the guy we know and we've seen in the past. And he shut them down, but they just couldn't take advantage of anything. You know, they out-hit the Sox 8-4. They only had the 2 doubles, the home run, but not much else going on right there. And you hold an offense down. I was going to say they only had a couple of walks that they gave up, and they kept you know, other than that, the base runners to a minimum. So you hang on, and one swing of the bat could end it, and it certainly did today for the White Sox.
So that's it from Chicago. We'll reconvene tomorrow night at Fenway Park in Boston when the Indians open a 3-game series against the Red Sox. For Rick Manning and Andre Knott, I'm Matt Underwood. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for Indians Live with Alan Jensen. That's coming up next.